Hey, Dana Abercrombie, the Coalition. Thank you both for speaking to me. What's really interesting with this season, it really seems to be about growing the characters' independence. And so for MeKai and Antonio, both of you, you find yourself, you're on your own. And I really wanted to know, how do you both find a bond within both of the characters and the relationship moving forward in season three?
You want to take over?
Um, yeah, I think that is the beauty in any sort of relationship or any sort of partnership you kind of come into is you allow people the space to be who they are and grow into who they are. And that's the just the journey you see everybody kind of going on in raising Kanan. It's like just figuring out who they are and who they are to each other. Like they have a certain sense of it, but uh, in ways when everybody's world kind of gets jumbled in the way it did in the season and in the series, you naturally have to kind of change course in your role or how you view yourself in certain ways in that world. And that's the journey you see the characters go on individually, and you see those kind of interactions and those characteristics that they might have discovered or picked up kind of envelop themselves when they do interact. That's what you see happen between Kanan and Famous a lot during the season is them understanding who they are, like you said, being independent, and when they come together, exercising that in ways in a judgment-free zone.
For you, Antonio, because with Famous, he seems to be much of a follower. Will we start seeing a shift in that?
Yeah. We see a shift in that, but not necessarily through like a group shift. We start to see Famous take more of a control over his own life because he starts to realize where a lot of places that he's gone, he's just followed someone too. So whether it be Kanan, whether it be one of the other friends, whether it be a family member, he's followed someone somewhere. And we get to see that there is a dream that Famous has that he basically now he can follow that dream and he can accomplish that on his own.
So with Kanan, I was wondering, he's leading with a lot of hurt from last season, especially with his mother and the manipulation. I was wondering, does that kind of hinder his choices, especially with the new characters that he interacts with?
I'm sorry, one more time. You kind of cut out in the middle of the question.
Oh, I was saying that he's leading kind of a lot with hurt. He with his mother, the manipulation, and so I was wondering, with the new characters that are introduced and the choices that he makes, is it out of spite? Is it out of anger, or is it truly who am I as a person on my own?
Yeah.
I think it's all of those, honestly. I think there's part of it that I think most of it is hurt. It's having this trust in these people closest to you. And then when you actually, get a little older and come a little more to your own consciousness, you start to understand that that wasn't necessarily the way that things were. You know what I mean? And like he starts to give certain graces in certain spots, but there comes a point even for him where it's like, how many times can I let this happen?
Yeah.
Like it's showing for what it is. So he just has to move accordingly at that point. That's really what it is. It's figuring out who he is as a person. It's understanding and having a bit more of a confidence in that. It's now showing his mother, I don't need you the same way you need me. And it's just him again. That's any young man trying to establish himself and wanting to build legacy in certain ways for themselves. You know what I mean? That's what the story is we're telling.
Thank you both for speaking to me. Superb season, superb job, both of you.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
you, Dana.
much.